Hey everybody, today I'm in Pamplico, South Carolina, and it's a really unique little town, and as you'll learn later in the video as we progress, this is where Mom was originally from, so you'll hear her talk about some of the places that she grew up at, where she went to school, what she did, her memories of it, where she worked at, and everything else. So you can join us if you would like to as we do this. So right now we are on Pamplico Highway. This highway takes you into Pamplico. If you're coming from Basin Crossroad and also 378. 378 is where Hannah is located at.
And the people that's watching that knows about Basin Crossroad. That's where two brothers came from England or somewhere. Anyway, they established their families here. Well, that's all I ever heard. We're starting to come up on school.
So this up here is the school. This is where all the schools in Pamplico are at now. Hannah-Pamplico, I should say. But we're gonna turn around so we can show it better, because it's kind of hard to see from this direction.
It is raining.
It is raining.
And all this here, after I graduated.
Well, you can say that once we get over there, so people can see. And so now we're rolling into Pamplico from one direction, and we're also going to roll into Pamplico from the other direction as well. But this is from the 378 side. There's the lovely sign, welcome. And I do wish it wasn't raining, but it is what it is, so just have to deal with the windshield wipers every now and then. So they do have a grocery store here. It's the IGA, and this building right here was the original IGA. So Mom is correcting me. The building coming up right here was the original IGA. I'm not quite sure what that was. It looks like some kind of doctor's office. And then coming up is the new Dollar General in town. You cannot have any town without having a Dollar General. They don't care where they go, they will go anywhere. So that is the post office. If you ever need anything mailed from Pamplico, South Carolina, there you go. There's a barber shop. We have B&C Fuel Company right there. Okay, this is the town of Pamplico Gibbs Community Center right there. And it looks like it's actually still active. And the long building over there, according to Mom, was originally called Gibbs School, and then later on it became Hannah-Pamplico Elementary School. And now it is empty because they built a new school. I'm showing the clouds so much today is because I think they're beautiful. It is raining, so might as well show the clouds and the beautiful countryside as well. Because, you know, if you're from the city, you don't really get to see this kind of stuff. So what is back here is called Dewitt's Bluff, and as you can see, there's a lot of trucks out here that's got their trailers so they can go boating out here. Yes, this is the Great PD River back here. Always have to get Mom to tell me where I'm at. So that is the river right there, and it is still raining. I'm pretty sure you can see the rain. But it's just amazing that such a huge river just passes through this little town. So now I'll tell you about Dewitt's Bluff. It says located about half mile east, this bluff, part of a rural land grant to Edward Crofts in 1740, was named for the Dewitt family, which settled nearby prior to 1767. This area of Prince Frederick Parish was known as Queen's, one of 11 such townships planned by the British Crown in 1730 to foster settlement and to protect the interior of the province. So that's your history of that. And we're on Bluff Road. And this right here is Old River Road. I wish it wasn't raining. So now this coming up was originally J.P. Stevens, and then it became Delta Mills. And that was probably the biggest industry that Pamplico had. So what we're looking at right here was called Cypress Plant. And then the next one up here was called Pamplico plant. So even though they were the same business, they had two different plants. And this up here was the original location of the J.P. Stevens, right?
1966.
In 1966. And then they built the other building in,
I think 1968.
she believes 1968.
Because I started working in 1970 in that building.
And then it closed for good in 2005. And there's been other businesses in there over the years, but it'll always be known as Delta Mills. So that right there was the store that was very popular whenever Delta Mills was going on. I think everybody would go over there and get something to drink and eat. So now we're coming into Pamplico from the other direction. This is if you're coming in from Florence, South Carolina. A really beautiful water tower there. And there's the other sign that welcomes you into town. So there's another lovely view of the water tower. It's the original water tower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that I know since I've been living.
So this coming up was at one time the middle school
In the high school.
and the high school.
Gymnasium.
Jesus. We got some rough roads over here. But anyway,
That's the gym.
that was the gym.
That was the building.
And that was the original elementary school right there.
Lunchroom was right back there.
So what was it? All three schools were originally out here?
No.
Well,
just Pamplico.
you said that was the high school.
Yeah, all three schools right there.
So since we enjoy it so much, there's another look at the water tower. Which way are you going to turn? So there's the original water tower from underneath. Such a beautiful view.
Okay. That was the Pamplico Mule.
So many years ago, this was actually the library, but then they built a massive library somewhere else. So now it is Town Hall, and you get a really good look at the water tower there. And so we're just gonna drive around and look at different things. But it's really, really pretty. So this used to be the bank right there, but now it is the police department. This is Munn Hardware. I read that it is 97 years old this year. It opened up in 1925.
This right here used to be a drugstore on the corner.
Mom says the building on the corner was at one time the drugstore.
I'm a drug company. And there was, I think there was a department store somewhere around here. You gonna make the circle back around?
Yeah, I remember whenever that gas station used to be open. This is the massive library right there that took the place of the library that's there now. This is called the Pamplico Theater. Many years ago, they had an excellent sub shop in there. That man would make the best subs and salads that you've ever had in your life. Now we're coming up on Service Motor Company. It is celebrating its 100th birthday this year. It opened up in 1922, and it is currently 2022. So that does make it 100 years old. as you can tell, this used to be a mule station. And if you look right there, you can still see the imprint of it on the building. If you need any ice while you're in town, they can hook you up on that. This right here used to be Plowden Ford. Remember, way back, Mom used to get her oil changed and car service there.
A couple of cars there too.
She says she bought a couple of cars from there. I personally have bought a few cars from Service Motor. The one I'm in today actually came from Service Motor, but my newest car came from somewhere else. Grilling something. I smell some steaks or something. Ooh, it smells some charcoal. So this up here is Marsh Lumber Company. What was originally called something else. Garden. Park, and as you can see, they have got really nice ball fields out here and all kind of stuff. This is really nice. Also have a little playground, a little picnic shelter.
Another ball field right there.
I think I read they got 4 ball fields here. If you were ever sick, this right here was the doctor's office. Dr. Coleman ran that practice for many years, and as you can tell now, it's just overgrown with weeds and everything. You can not even tell what it once was. And why not have another look at the old water tower and the back of the post office? Because you have to admit, the water tower's got a lot of class. The new one's pretty, but that one's got some style right there. So this used to be a gas station whenever I was young, but now it's closed as well. Looks like it's just a 18-wheeler parking lot now. right here is Hannah-Pamplico High School. This is where Mom graduated high school at. Famous person graduated high school at. A very famous country music singer graduated from Hannah-Pamplico High School. And as you can see by that right there, they are known as the Raiders. They have a lovely driver's educational vehicle right there. And then this up here is the elementary and middle school. They built this several years ago and then they shut down what's in town now. So now you have to go basically on the outskirts of town to go to school. If that lady that we just passed ever sees this video, hi. She'll look directly into the camera, so maybe she'll watch it. So now we're in Hannah, South Carolina, and just in case you do not know, it is the home of country music star Josh Turner. This is the place that he is from. And we have this lovely sign out here. I think they need to do a statue too. We've got the most famous person ever to come out of Hannah, South Carolina. So I think we need a statue. So now we're still driving down the highway, and of course it's pouring down rain, so you'll just have to deal with the windshield wipers. But this is also Hannah, and Hannah is actually an unincorporated town in Florence County, South Carolina. And on this road right here shows the original Hannah School before they consolidated with Pamplico, and it became Hannah-Pamplico. So this is just some of the countryside. I think it's pretty. All these fields and dirt roads. So now coming up is the school. Yes. Mom says Hannah School.
It was the high school, elementary, it was the all grades.
So she says it was all grades that was there. I don't know if you can hear her talking or not. She's over there driving. And I think later it was converted into a nursing home or something. And I don't think there's anything in it now. Maybe somebody's living in there because there is a car there. This is the historical marker that's located in Hannah, and it says the Hannah Post Office opened from 1897 to 1917, served a community of 2 churches, 2 general stores, a cotton gin, sawmill, grits mill, and cane mill. William S. Hannah's store, built around 1850, operated for more than 135 years, passing to his son Irvin, who lived from 1840 to 1924, grandson Davis, who lived from 1892 to 1976, and great-grandson Murdoch, who lived from 1920 to 1986. The old store was placed in the 1950s, and as you can tell, there is no store there now, but for many years there was. And so even though the other store is closed, they do actually have a store that is still active. We're getting ready to pass by it right now. It is called Hannah Hardware and Supply. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and end the video from Pamplico, South Carolina, and also how I incorporated Hannah into it, since it is Hannah-Pamplico for the schools, at least. So I've got some history for you, since obviously Pamplico is special to Mom. And all this information came from the townofpamplico.com. And it says it is believed that Pamplico branch got its name from a tribe of Indians who once lived in the area, since Indian artifacts have been found. So in the early 1900s, brothers Benton and Henry Dargan began buying timber rights in the area for Dargan Lumber Company. They purchased a tract of land around 1909, containing 160 acres and some more land also that contained 80 acres. Both tracts of land laid on the south side of the road running from the River Road to Hyman, South Carolina. So if you look, whenever we came in from the other pretty water tower, that was actually Hyman, South Carolina. We passed through there before we got to the sign that said, "Welcome to Pamplico, South Carolina." So in December of 1909, Henry Dargan purchased 175 acres, which lay on the north side of the road running from the River Road to Hyman, and bordered on the west by Pamplico Branch. Another road branched from River Road onto the Mountain Zion and Salem areas. I'm fairly certain we actually passed through there as well. I remember all those names. The two roads formed a crossroads in the center of the lands owned by the Dargan brothers. There was only one main house at these roads, and it still stands today. We may have saw that, we may not have, because whenever I was looking the other day, I did not see that address video. I did not include it in my video. And that location was known as Miles Square. And that is since the city of Florence was only 20 miles away. And the wheels started turning, and the Dargan brothers and James Evans formed the PD Land and Development Company for the purpose of developing and selling the property on May 10th, 1910. That's when that was established. The first thing to be built was a water well, since water is necessary to live. And that is very true. If you don't have water, you're going to die. You got to have some kind of hydration so you can live. The second thing they built was a lattice roundhouse built over the well, and this had a bench or benches around the inside, which provided a meeting place for the men of the community on Sunday afternoons or whenever they had time. The third construction probably was a two-room wooden, got to turn the page. If you ever watch the videos whenever I do my cliff notes, you know I got to turn the page because I like to write. So it was a two-room wooden building that was used as the first office of the Dargan Lumber Company. And this building later became the first post office. Over the next 6 years, what once was just fields of tobacco, cotton, and cornfields were developing into a town. Many lots were sold in late 1910, and mainly to the residents of the area, and Pamplico was complete. On June 10th, 1909, the PD Land and Development Company deeded the streets to the town of Pamplico, which are as follows: 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th Avenues, Coleman Street, no, that says Coleman, Steel, and Munn Avenues, and Palmetto, Hickory, and Walnut, Pine, Elm, and Trade Streets. In late 1919, and that might have been June 1919, can't read my writing, whenever they deeded the streets. So in late 1919, the assets of the PD Land and Development Company was sold to A.A. Munn. The first business that opened was the Pamplico Supply Company, built in 1912. The store had food, work clothing, and many other items that were needed for the home and the farm. It closed after 57 years in 1969. The first industry was Dargan Lumber Company, which changed names several times over the years and is now Marsh Furniture Company, which that is it's Marsh Lumber Company. But I guess they did have a 18-wheeler out there that said Marsh Furniture Company, so maybe that's their proper name. It is one company that has survived the test of time. In 1961, the post office was relocated to its current location, which you saw a lot of the post office in the video. The first bank was established in 1914, and the first drugstore in 1914 as well. Pamplico actually did have a hotel at one time. It was known as the Pamplico Hotel, and it was constructed in 1916, and it burned in 1927, and they have never had a hotel again. Pamplico Mule Company opened in 1917 and closed in 1949. Service Motor Company was organized in 1922, and part of it is housed in the old Mule Company building, which you saw that as well. So Munn Hardware opened in 1925. In 1966, J.P. Stevens opened, and it was later sold to Delta Mills and operated until they shut their doors forever in 2005. And the closure of the facility had a great economic impact on the community. And Mom said that at one time, over 600 people were employed at Delta Mills. So you've got to think about that. If a company that huge shuts down, and that is the livelihood of everybody there, then it's definitely going to have an impact on the community. And as you can see, some of the places no longer exist that was once there, and some things still do. So what all do you have to say? I know you've got to say something because that was your hometown.
That was my hometown, and I'm glad you did a video on it, because there was a few things I didn't know about. I didn't know that Pamplico had a hotel at one time, and yeah, they had a lot of people working at Delta Mills. I was one of the 600, about 500 or 600, and worked there for a long time. You talk about over 30 some years. That's a long time. And I'm glad I was working. At least it put food on the table and clothes on the backside, and a car too. I can't complain.
So honestly, since she worked in Pamplico, I spent a lot of time in Pamplico myself growing up. And I have fond memories of the original library. That's where I got my library card at. That's where I fell in love with reading all the Ramona books and the Judy Blume books and books in general. And I still love to read. And this is actually shameful to say, but I don't even know where that library card's at, because I just got to the point in my life, if I want a book, I buy it. So it looks like I've got a library at my house. And so that had been a big impact on me as a child. And like different places that I know what they were whenever I was little no longer exist, or they're under a different name. That's like the convenience store that's in town. Whenever I was young, that was the fast fair. I don't even know if fast fair exists anywhere in the world anymore. And then later on they changed hands and it became something else. And then they also had a Subway restaurant in there. Now that's gone as well. I do remember the IGA quite frequently because my grandma liked to shop there, and that was at the one that now has like the restaurant in it, not the new one, because this is shameful to say as well, I've only been in the new one one time since it opened. And it's probably like 15 or 20 years ago that opened. But the old one, it had stuff in there that you just don't find anywhere else. I mean, there was stuff in there that I couldn't even dream of eating. But I'm guessing that maybe the people back in the day, they like eating that stuff. So that's a no-go for me on that. But I've only been in the new one time all these years. But the old one, I was in there all the time. And then where Mom said the original location was at, I have no clue. That was already closed before I guess I was ever born.
After it was closed, they put furniture in it.
And that's why I did not know that was the original IGA. So that's going to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed her view down memory lane. And that's going to do it. So I hope you enjoyed how I brought Hannah and Pamplico together and showed you both areas. So I shall see you later. Bye. Okay, so I said bye too soon because Mom has not said her thing. She wants to say her thing that she says to y'all each time.
If you like the video, subscribe. Tell your friends, family, and whatever else you can tell. Because Donna's getting on up with there a little bit.
Yes, I have grown a little bit over the last couple of weeks. I do think it's my Cades Cove videos that people are watching. So if you have joined me from the Cades Cove videos, I do hope you enjoy what you're seeing. I will be back in Tennessee in a couple of months, but not today. I wish it was, because I would love to go. I miss the Smoky Mountains. But for now, I shall do stuff in South Carolina. And then I do have some vacation time coming up, so I'm going to go to my other favorite state, which is Florida. But that's still a ways away. But that's not saying I won't go, because if I got 2 days back to back, I just might go to Florida. But anyway, that's going to do it for this video. If you did like it, you can give a thumbs up. You can comment. I do love reading comments. I like to see what people think. As long as it's positive, of course. I like positive vibes. And it is free. Even if you don't like my videos, you can still subscribe to them. I'm at 267 at this moment in time, which is better than where we were at.
You really moved.
Because I was watching a video the other night that I did in January, and I only had 59 people at that time, so I have moved up. So I do hope that you enjoy how I'm showing different areas of South Carolina. I think it's very important. South Carolina is obviously special to me, but I will be soon traveling the Southeast, more than just South Carolina, because it's almost fall, and once fall comes, it is on, because I love to see all the colors. It's just so pretty. So we shall leave you once again. Hope you have a good day. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you've never heard of Pamplico before, now you have.
Look at it on the map. It's on the map.
It is on the map. Yes. So we shall see you somewhere else in a couple of days. I don't know where yet, because I do have 2 days off back to back coming up. But guess what? We're not going to Florida in those 2 days, but I'm not saying it won't happen in the next 2 days I'm off. So with that being said, toodaloo. We shall see you later. Bye.
Bye.